Soldering is a really useful skill when it comes to electronics and DIY projects, but also very useful in audio applications, especially when making cables like this. You can find higher quality cables to solder the connector types and customize lengths. And in the video, the soldering that I was doing was a little bit out of frame, so I wanted to show a little bit of some of the things I was using. This is a Kester, this brand Kester flux core 6037 blend 0.5 millimeter solder. I really like the smaller soldering fine solder with a temperature of about 750 to 800 for audio cables, and sometimes even bigger PCB boards for 500 series units and that kind of thing. I also use this cable tester, which is really useful for quick tests and different connections with XLR and TRS connectors. You can also use this for speak-on, RCA, and phono connections, as well as a continuity tester at the top. Then I use this fluke for continuity testing AC and DC voltages. And it's really nice to have when you're trying to get an exact reading with electronics and audio. But overall, the idea is to kind of get your hands on with making cables to save money when you're making a patch cable from your mixer to your 500 series gear or into your patch bay and need custom lengths for different setups and that kind of thing. So yeah, check out this video and learn some of the things that I've been doing. Do a little bit of a demonstration making some cable. This is a balanced audio cable with a shield and 2 conductors. What I want to do is make a patch cable for my studio. I'm going to use a TRS connector as well as an XLR connector on this one. To demonstrate more, cut these ends off, start fresh. Usually solder at 750 to 800 degrees Fahrenheit. And what I want to do first is cut this shielding sleeve off, score the outer sleeve, and strip off the end. You don't want to cut too deep, out like that. And you'll take the copper, twist it, just like that. Use this vise to hold it. We'll take a little bit of the conductor out, pull it out just a little bit further. We'll leave it here for now. We'll get this other side. You can start to see the copper in there. Want enough to be able to solder the tips of your conductors. You can put both of these on here. See if I have enough lead for this. Sometimes I'll use this tool. Take the tips off pretty easily. That's all you need. I'll tin the tips. Get a little bit out here. Get a little bit of solder on there. Let it heat up the copper. And I like to go underneath and solder down. Tin the tips. Kind of flick it. That way there's no like big bulb of solder at the end. Make sure you wear safety glasses when you do this too, so you don't get any solder in your eye. Just like that. Go grab my connectors that I need. Now that I've got the connectors, I can take those apart and prep the pins. What I'm gonna do is make a bridge between pin 1 and the casing, because I'll be connecting this to a mixer. I want to make sure that the shielding is connected there to the ground. So take a piece of wire, cut off a little. I'm going to bend one side of it like that. We're going to bridge this to pin 1. Take a look at that. We're ready. So one thing to do is get a female side of it. I'll show you. So what I've done there is melted the solder inside the pin and slid the ground inside. I believe this pin is cold, so I'm going to do my hot pin there to get my shrink on there. You can even bend this first slightly. Remember how I said the shrink would be hard to get on? That is exactly what will happen. But we can take this off, make sure that the connection is solid. You can also put a shrink over all of them together. Most of the time I don't even use shrink. This one might fit better. Take my heat gun. Seems a little loose still, so I'm gonna fix that. Some extra solder in there. Might have been too much, honestly. I didn't see how much it was sucking up, but as long as it's not touching the middle pin. Sometimes solder likes to puddle up and start to have some like peaks of flow. So we're gonna put our red cable in the middle, pin 2, from the pin 2 on this one. Now what I'll do is test my continuity with this cable tester. There's two ways you can do this, with a cable tester or with a multimeter. So we've got pins 1 to 1, 2 to 2, 3 to 3. You can also test another cable. Oops. We've got this multimeter. We're going to set it to continuity mode. Turn on your beeper. So I'm going to hold this onto ground first, which is going to be pin 1. And on the other side, hold this to ground. You can hear a beep. Hold this to pin 2. Make sure there's no continuity. Pin 1. We'll do the same. We'll do pin 2 this time, which should be pin 1 on TRS. Make sure it's not going to pin 2 on the TRS, because we have tip, ring, and sleeve. We'll do pin 3. Should be going to the ring, not to tip, not to sleeve. And then the final test is the shield. This should be grounded to sleeve and not tip or ring. There you go.